prelims is something which is becoming a hurdle for everyone in the recent past. Even this year's paper, for that matter, was very similar to the 2023 paper, which again was a huge shocker for many people. And then CSAT is also becoming a problem. So these two aspects are there. For mains particularly, rather than the knowledge part of things, the most important part is the execution part for mains particularly. Because everyone will read, but writing an answer is very difficult. So try to bring those qualities into yourself actively. That is how you build up a good personality for yourself.
We are here to welcome Mr. A.R. Rajah, who has secured rank 7, All India rank 7 in 2025 UPSC Civil Services examination. And we are here to facilitate him and welcome him. He is from Chennai. He has completed his MBBS from Chennai Annamalai University. And after that, he has started his preparation from Jamia RCA. And he had optional anthropology. So if you have any questions regarding anthro or your preparation strategy, feel free to ask him. Okay, make this session more engaging by asking relevant questions. Don't ask irrelevant questions. Okay, and if you have any other doubt regarding mentorship or anything, you can ask me only. Okay, I would ask Mr. Dev sir to please present a bouquet to him. And please देव सर का मुंह मीठा कराइए लाओ. I would like also to present a memento to Mr. and a small gift and one more small gift from BANO IAS.
Okay. So very good morning to all. Thank you for coming here first of all. So my association with BANO IAS is that, like as you said, I was part of the Jamia RCA program, and then this is started by the alumni of Jamia RCA. And even today morning only, I put a WhatsApp status saying that I was felicitated by the Jamia University VC as well a few days back. Then I put a status saying I'm felicitated by the person VC, and then this is the place which made me, an IAS or whatever rank that I got was because of RCA. RCA means RCA is not an institute, but the people over there is what I consider to be special. All the seniors that are there. I've taken help from almost all the seniors in RCA. Whatever, any doubts, like when I failed my 2 prelims, I knew that prelims was my weakness. So to clear my third prelims, I knew that RCMA, all the seniors, they always constantly clear prelims. So I took help from each one of them, and that made me to clear my third prelims. And once I cleared prelims, I was able to clear everything. So I owe it to the seniors of RCA, and they are again now doing a wonderful thing here. Creating a very good ecosystem for you guys as well. So that is why I immediately agreed to come when sir called me. Because I generally don't come to Delhi. I'm in Chennai only now. So when I come to Delhi, he told, "Can you please come and talk?" Then I told, "Yeah, I'll come." So we'll have a interaction. So I'll be giving a few pointers from my end, but mostly we can keep it interactive. Whatever doubts you have, I'll be here, so you can ask me, and then we'll get it clarified. Right? So any of you have given the attempt prelims till now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So you, how many attempts have you guys given? Only one. One. He has given. Okay, fine. So, see, so most of you are beginners. Oh, so which attempt are you guys planning? The others next year or next year's attempt? You're all planning. Okay. See, the major thing I would like to say is that to have a structured plan in hand, right? Before just jumping into the prep, what we generally do is we immediately start taking books and then we start reading without having an idea of a overall plan for ourselves. Which attempt are we going to crack and all these things, right? So if you want to crack it in your first attempt, the thing that I would majorly say is that it takes a duration of about 2 years. 2 years before the attempt, right? And then the attempt itself is 1 year because prelims, mains, and interview takes 1 year to happen. So a total of 3 years. So have this plan in mind that 2 years of prep and 1 year of where I give it where I give my attempt, right? So why am I saying 2 years? Because generally we focus it as 1 year, right? 1 year we study and then we give the attempt, we clear. But why do I say it as 2 years? It's because this examination has a total of 2 parts actually. So the first part will be your knowledge gaining part, where you gain the knowledge from the books, from the classes that you take here, or from any YouTube videos that you're watching, the knowledge that you're gaining. So that is one part of the examination. The second part of the examination is what? Is to execute the knowledge that you have gained. Whether it is prelims or mains, the execution part is different. In prelims, you execute it by solving MCQs, marking the OMR, and getting marks and clearing the cutoff. In mains, how do you execute it? By writing answers. For a 10 marker, you write 2 pages. For a 15 marker, you write 3 pages. For a 20 marker, you write 4 pages. So the entire knowledge that you have gained throughout the year when you are taking classes here, that entire thing will be concisely fit into just 2 pages in a 10 marker or a 4 pager for a 20 marker. That is all. So that is the execution part. So people who fail either in the knowledge part or the execution part will fail the exam. You should be thorough in both the parts. I know a lot of people who are more knowledgeable than me, which means that they are very good at the knowledge part, but still they are not able to clear the exam. They have reached till the interview stage. One of my very close friends is writing his third mains this year. He's at RCA, so he's writing his third mains this year. And I know for a fact, because we both studied together, that his knowledge level is same as mine or even greater, I would say. He's not able to clear mains because some stuff is there in the execution part. And I know a person, another very close friend of mine, who's very good in mains. But then he gave one mains, one interview, he couldn't clear. But then consequently, 2 prelims he has failed, which means that his execution part in prelims, the OMR filling and the MCQ aptitude, was a difficulty for him. So this is the major thing. You should be having both the things, have the knowledge gaining capacity as well and the execution part. Now coming to the 2 years, the first 1 year will be exclusively for just knowledge gaining, coming to the classes, taking notes, making notes, understanding. So when you're reading polity, like when I started polity, I didn't even know what DPSP was, what preamble was. So we first gain the knowledge. What is preamble? What is DPSP? What is fundamental rights? Everything. So that will be the knowledge gaining part. So that will happen in 1 year. The next 1 year is exclusively for your execution part. And how will you do the practice the execution part? By practicing. So by writing answers, by solving MCQs. So that part will happen in the second year. So this will be, an ideal 2 year plan to clear your attempt in the first attempt itself. Right. Now for people who have already given the attempt, it means that you have somewhat gained on the knowledge part. So the next 1 year for you who have given already an attempt will be to just focus on the execution part. Right. So Avi, from now till December, you should be doing the mains part. And from Jan till prelims, obviously the prelims, right? Now we'll go in depth into pre-mains and interview. And even in interview, this comes into play, the knowledge plus execution. You might have a very good knowledge, but then if you falter in the execution, then you won't be getting it. Like my friend who got 111 rank this year, we studied together. She even had more marks in mains compared to me. But then interview me, she got 150. And then she got 111, I got 7th rank, because I had 200 or 201 in interview. So even in interview, this comes into play, the execution part and the knowledge part. Okay. Now we'll start with pre, right?
अगर आप दिल्ली जैसे शहर में बजट में आईएएस की तैयारी करना चाहते हैं तो इस वीडियो को एंड तक जरूर देखें। ये है बनो आईएएस। इसको रन करने वाले हैं यूपीएससी क्वालिफाइड एक्स सिविल सर्वेंट एंड जामिया आरसीए एलुमनाई। यहाँ की फैकल्टी को ना केवल यूपीएससी एग्जाम का एक्सपीरियंस है बल्कि पढ़ाने का भी सालों का एक्सपीरियंस है। ये एक्सपर्ट फैकल्टी हर टॉपिक को अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करते हैं, उसके बाद हर टॉपिक को डिक्टेट करते हैं ताकि आपके पास अपने खुद के हैंड रिटन नोट्स हो। साथ ही क्लास में प्रीलिम्स और मेंस के प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व किया जाता है और डिस्कस भी किया जाता है।
यहाँ पे आपको सिविल सर्वेंट्स जैसे कि आईएएस, आईआरएस और एक्स सिविल सर्वेंट्स साथ के साथ जामिया आरसीए के एलुमनाइज आपको पर्सनल मेंटरशिप देते हैं। डेली आंसर राइटिंग जो कि सारे टॉपर्स रिकमेंड करते हैं, इस पर यहाँ पे बहुत फोकस किया जाता है जो कि बाकी कोचिंग्स में नहीं होता है। इसके साथ ही आपको मिलती है प्रीलिम्स और मेंस की टेस्ट सीरीज जो आपको एग्जाम के लिए रेडी करती है। यहाँ के अगर हाईलाइट्स की बात करें तो स्मॉल बैच साइजेस जिसमें 60 स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं और जीएस कोर्स के साथ आपको एसे और सीसैट की क्लासेस भी होती है जिसके लिए आपको अलग से पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
और ये लोकेटेड है सुखदेव विहार मेट्रो स्टेशन के बिल्कुल सामने। तो देर किस बात की, आज ही स्टार्ट करें और अपने यूपीएससी के सपने को साकार करें। थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग बनो आईएएस।
Prelims is totally different things. Prelims and mains, generally people say we have to study it integratedly. Even though we are studying it integratedly, the way in which we study for prelims is very different from the way in which we study for mains, and the subjects also vary, and all those things are there, right? So, and prelims is something which is becoming a hurdle for everyone in the recent past. Even this year's paper, for that matter, was very similar to the 2023 paper, which again was a huge shocker for many people. And then CSAT is also becoming a problem. So these two aspects are there. So I realized that prelims is very important only after I failed two prelims. I was like, okay, how much ever I have knowledge to write mains, if I don't clear prelims, then it is of no use. So major thing that people are lacking is everyone reads. Everyone reads the. I'll tell you the sources that I used as well for prelims. So for polity, basic only. So polity, I used Lakshmikant. Then apart from Lakshmikant, I had my Bar Act as well. So Bar Act is nothing but the constitution put out in a printed form, right? And Lakshmikant is nothing but what? It's notes made from the Bar Act, right? So rather than reading the notes, if you read the source material, it is even more better. So I used to read the Constitution of India itself. When I'm reading the preamble chapter in Lakshmikant, before reading it, read the preamble itself. We the people of India, everything, read it. See how they have framed the words. And before reading about Article 21 in Lakshmikant, read the actual article in the Bar Act. So this is what I did. So this two things for polity. Then for geography, the most important book, the 11th NCRT, both the books, physical as well as Indian, they are very, very important. And that from there only questions were being asked till now, till 2026, where they decided to shake things up and not ask many questions, but it will repeat next year is what I feel. What will repeat, the older pattern will be brought back is what I feel, where they ask more static questions. So still I would feel geography may that 11th NCRTs are very, very important. I didn't follow anything else, just that. Then for economy, I had my class notes from where I did my foundation in Chennai. So that class notes, and then I had a book which is very famous in South called Shankar Ganesh Karupaya. So that is a very small economy book. I had it. Here, Delhi may there are a lot of other teachers, or here also you will be taking classes. Economy, it doesn't matter where you study it from, as long as your concepts are clear. So that is the major thing. Then for environment, so I had PMF IAS, a book from them. And then what else is there? For history, Spectrum for modern. Then for ancient and medieval, I just had the NCRTs, new teams NCRTs, plus my class notes. That is all. So science and tech, again, it is I used to watch, there is this person called Shivan. I used to watch his videos, but even that is too much for if you're a beginner. If see, I'm a science student, I'm a doctor, so for me science is not very difficult. But if you're arts, if you're studying in arts and science is very difficult, then you can do a separate course for SNT, science and tech, right? So this is it. So these are the primary sources for prelims. So people generally read all these sources, they are well versed with it, but when it comes again to the execution part, they falter. So there, what should we be doing? There is one major thing in prelims called as MCQ aptitude. So many people don't have MCQ aptitude, so that is where you falter. Like, you know what FR is, you know what DPSP is, but then while solving a question, while reading it, you're not able to figure out which of the four options is correct, or whether they are put not. Some people don't even read that word, but even though they have put it in bold and italicized font, they don't read it and they mark something else. So all this happens. So how should I improve my MCQ aptitude for prelims? So there is this one solution to this, which is PYQs, which is again something I learned in RCA only, which is give importance to PYQs. You guys must be knowing Masoom sir, IRS officer. So he was my mentor in RCA. So he also has anthropology optional. So they gave me as his mentee. So when I went and asked him, sir, how to clear prelims, this was the first thing that he told me. Do all the PYQs that are there. Then I told, sir, till 2013, 10 years ka. Then he told, no, take it from 1980s, 70s. From then till now, you have to be doing all the PYQs. And then one thing that Dev sir showed me now in his office was the compilation that they give in BANO IAS, which is like all the PYQs compilation. Why do they do it? They all have the same ideology because they are also products of RCA. Why do they do it? Because PYQs is something that will be increasing your MCQ aptitude, right? So tell me another thing. Like, we write the UPSC exam, right? So how do we communicate with UPSC, or how does UPSC communicates to us what all we should be studying and what all we should not be studying? It is via what medium? Can we just call them up and ask, tell me what should I study? Or can we mail them? No, right? Because they are a constitutional body. But then what is that one thing that they put out in their official website itself? It's the PYQs. Why is it a reason for a UPSC, a constitutional body, to put out question papers on its website? It is to show the students that this is the way you have to study. This is the way that you have to follow, right? And that is the way of communication between us and UPSC, right? So take PYQs very seriously. Start doing them as soon as possible. Let's say you have attended a class of anything, geography may have attended, physical geography may, oceanography class you have attended. Immediately that night you have to go and take up the PYQs of oceanography and then solve them. That is how you should be doing. PYQs should be something that you wake up with, you spend your day with, like while eating or something, you do it. Then even before sleeping, you will be doing PYQs. So this is how you be increasing your MCQ aptitude. And as I was guided by Masum sir, I'm telling you guys the same thing. Like take all the PYQs from as old as you can, and luckily you have the compilations here. You can get it and then start solving them. You might think, what is the relevance of this? Because there are some questions directly repeating as well, right? So that is there. And then there are other UPSC exams like CDS, CAPF. Please do their MCQs as well, because it is all being conducted by UPSC only. Sometimes the questions directly repeat. For me also it has happened. Like 23 CAPF paper I had seen and gone. The same question on ballistic missile and cruise missile was repeated in the prelims of 2023. So all these things happen. So it is better that you do the PYQs of other examinations conducted by UPSC as well. So this is about prelims. Apart from this, there is something about on that day in those 2 hours, what should I be doing, right? So this also sometimes people don't know how to approach the 2 hours in the exam, and they get into this panic mode, right? And whenever you get panic during prelims exam specifically, it means that you're out of the game. Because like tell me, do you guys know about the NEET examination, right? So how does NEET examination happen? The mode in which it happens, is it OMR filling or I'm okay. I'm talking about NEET PG, which is for doctors who have already done, and then they, yeah. So how does it happen? Is it OMR filling or computer based? So it is computer based, okay. And then for any other exam, so for getting into AIMS or JIPMER for PG and all, so you have to have a computer based examination. Yeah. So you can go and then, exactly. So the MCQs will be there in the computer, and then you should click it and then come, right? But then that is also an easier way to evaluate your papers, right? Then what is the need of still UPSC giving you OMR sheets, asking you to take black ballpoint pen, go sit and circle? What is the reason behind this? Time management, even there in computers also, it's the same thing, right? And generally these exams, the computer based exams, where do they happen? They happen in IT companies, right? Where it is fully air conditioned. Like there will be a room like this where the computers are there, and then you will be doing the exams, right? But then UPSC may generally happens where in government schools, DAV, Kendra Vidyalaya, schools like this, where desks are sometimes very small. People who have given prelims will know desks are very small, and then we give prelims in the heat of Delhi. I gave my first prelims in Chennai. Both my other prelims I gave here, and it was very hot, right? So why do they put us into this much of difficulty? Like some schools where the fans won't be working, the desks will have holes and all these things. Why do they put us in this difficulty? Have you guys ever figured it out? Have you guys thought about this? Pressure management. Exactly. So what do you guys both told? Like in real life also, like as officers, we will be put under these kind of pressure situations where we have to take a decision, right, on the spot. And that is why they ask you to solve an MCQ. You have to take a decision then and there. You will be eliminating 2 options. You will have 2 more options. I have to choose between 2. I have to cut a wire. It's like a bomb. I have to diffuse it. I have to cut a wire between those 2. If I cut it correctly, I'll get 2 marks. If I cut it wrong, then I will lose the 2 marks, plus I'll get minus as well, right? So it's like a bomb. So that is the thing. So they are deliberately putting you under a pressure situation to see that you're handling the pressure. And those who handle the pressure coolly in those 2 hours, they clear it, right? So for prelims, I had what I didn't do in my first 2 attempts when I failed prelims was that I didn't have a strategy for myself to solve the paper in those 2 hours, right? What I was thinking that, okay, I've studied everything. I've done mock tests. So I'll just go there and ace the examination. But that is not so. You have to have a strategy for yourself to solve the paper in those 2 hours also, right? So I devised a strategy called the 3-round strategy, right? So this again, I took inputs from a lot of my seniors at RCA, and then I devised this where in the first round, you read from the first question till the 100th question, and you complete it in 1.5 hours at least. Okay, so 1 hour 15 minutes to 1 hour 30 minutes. So you complete it, and then what questions will you be solving in this first round? Just the questions that you know 100%, right? So how do you know that you know this question 100%? You have eliminated all the 3 options, and then you're just left with one option, which means that is a correct one. So you're 100% sure of this. So there are questions like this. Apart from this, there are questions where you have eliminated 2 options, but you are still not able to diffuse it. So that there are questions like that as well. And there are other questions where you have eliminated just 1 option, and there are 3 more options to cut off, right? So you do all this process in this 1.5 hours, right? Where you eliminate all 3 options and get the correct one, and then fill it. Then you eliminate 2 options, and then don't break your head over there. What question should I be choosing? Immediately skip that question and then go to the next one. Why should we do this? Why should we not make a decision there itself? Why are we skipping the questions where we just know 2 options? Skipping matlab, like we are keeping it for the next round. Why do we do it? So that when you come in the next round, you take another better view of it, right? And let's say you want to solve the question at then and there itself. It means that you're putting yourself into a pressure situation where you're forcing yourself to think, okay, I have to go to the next question. Before that, I'll solve this and then only I will go. So don't put yourself in a pressure situation. Just solve the questions that you know 100%. In the other questions, if you have no idea about it, then just skip it and then go to the next one. Or in questions where you can at least remove 2 options, just remove them and then go, right? So this is how you do it in your first round. Then in the second round, what will you do? Now you have half an hour with you, and approximately 50 to 55 questions should be solved in the first round itself, right? So, and I wanted to always attempt 90 questions. So 90 questions with 60 correct questions and 30 wrong questions. So this I wanted to keep it as my ratio. So how much marks will we get if we have 60 correct and 30 wrong? No, what is the correct score? 60 correct and 30 wrong. It's 100, no? 100 marks you will get. 60 correct and 30 wrong. 60 correct is how many? 120 marks you get, right? Then 30 wrong. So you minus those 20 and then you will come to 100, right? So approximately 100 will be the marks that you are getting if you are attempting 90 questions, getting 60 and correct and 30 wrong. And is 100 marks enough? Yeah, it is more than enough. And this year it is like very much high. This year I think the cutoff is 76, 77. So 100 is a very good score. So this was my strategy. And in the actual exam also, I attempted 60 questions. How many correct wrong did I get? I got 59 correct, 31 wrong. And then it came out to 97 point something. And actual official score also was that only, right? So this was my strategy. Now in my first round, how many I have attempted? 55, right? So how many more should I attempt to get 90? 35 more we have to attempt. So this 35 questions, I'll be taking it up in the second round, right? So in the second round, I'll be specifically choosing questions where I've eliminated 2 options. And then I'll be eliminating the other, between those other 2 options, I'll be cutting a wire. So I'll be doing those. Then in questions where I've eliminated 1 option, I'll try to eliminate another option as well, so that I can keep it for the third round. So I'll do this and then I'll try to complete 90. But even after the second round, let's say I'm stuck at 86 or 87. Then those last 3-4 questions, I'll be doing it in the third round. This generally I'll do it in the last 5 minutes of the examination. So I'll just take a call because we have studied for so long. So we'll have a gut instinct that this might be the right answer. So I'll just do guesswork and I'll put mark 3 to 4 questions and then I'll come. So this was my strategy for attempting the paper in prelims. And this having such a strategy is very important because people who go to the exam, no? So they don't have a strategy that I'll attempt this many questions. Or if the paper is tough, I will attempt 85. So I had a range as well. 90. If the paper is tough, then maybe 86, 87. If it's very easy, then 93 as well, 93, 94 as well. So I had a fixed strategy for myself that this is how I'll be attempting the paper. This many questions I'll be attempting and all those things. So I want you guys to have that. So all this comes under the execution part only, right? So this should be done very well. So this is about prelims. Anything that you want to ask related to prelims? You can take any magazine and then read it. Apart from that, you should also be reading your newspapers regularly. You need not make notes out of the newspaper, just read it and get to know what all is happening. Apart from that, before the exam, you will be needing a compilation maybe to read or to revise everything. So you can go for any yearly compilations that is available anywhere. So you can take that and then do it. Yeah. So this is enough for science and tech and environment, because after a point of time, we cannot go, very much in depth into it, because the it's like an ocean, right? It's limitless. So we have to put a limit to ourselves. So that is it. So how should I put this limit to myself? So first thing will be the PYQs. So based on the PYQs, I'll put a limit on myself. So let's say in PYQs, they're asking a lot about space missions. So there is a lot of things to study in space. But then I'll prioritize what? Just the space missions part, because that is what they're asking in the PYQs. So now what have I drawn? I've drawn a boundary for myself and I'll just stay within it. So it's better to draw a boundary for yourself and to learn, practice swimming within that boundary itself, rather than saying I'll swim and cross the entire ocean. So that should not be the right mindset for it, right? So this should be your mindset for prelims, right? Fine. So anything else with prelims? Ah. Hmm. So for art and culture, again, there is this book, the 11th NCRT is very good. Then there is this another book called Nitin Singhania. So that is good, but there again, Nitin Singhania should be read selectively. Just do the Buddhism, Jainism chapter over there. Then the Bhakti philosophy, Indian philosophy chapter. Then you have to go to the temple architecture aspect chapter as well. So these 3-4 chapters is enough from the book of Nitin Singhania. Otherwise, the 11th NCRT of art and culture should be done very thoroughly. Fine. Anything else with regards to pre? Okay, so I will move on to mains. Okay. So mains exam is something which is like again the most important aspect of your entire journey, because the mains mark is the one that will do what? It will actually fetch you the rank that you desire, and even within the rank, the cadre that you want. Um, from your perspective, it might seem like a very long thing to think about now. Your aim will be just to do what? To clear the examination. But then once you clear the examination, what everyone has in mind is that I have to do more, right? So there is no limit to what you want in life. So until and unless we ourselves put a limit on ourselves, there is no end to the limit that end to the aspirations that we have. First, your aspiration will be to clear UPSC. Once you have cleared, you'll be like, I didn't get IAS, so let me give another attempt. Then once you get IAS, you'll be like, I should be getting the best cadre there. Once you get the best cadre, you'll be like, I should be getting the best postings over there. So it keeps going on and on and on, right? So, and also like people who in my batchmates who got 73rd rank, 74th rank, what are they getting? They're getting IPS most probably. And the difference between me and them will be like just 5 to 6 marks. And because of that, they are getting IPS and I'm getting IAS. So for them, it might be a lifelong regret that I didn't push myself harder to just get those 5-6 marks more. Maybe a better introduction in one question, maybe a better conclusion here. I would have maybe crossed the threshold to get into IAS. And there are many people who are not in the list. When they look at it, another friend in RCA, he gave interview with me. He lost the last final list by 1 mark. So for him, it will be like if I had gotten 1 more mark, I also will be in the list. So that is it. So this I'm saying just to know the importance of a mark. And then there are people in the 42nd rank, 43rd rank who are getting Sikkim cadre or Northeastern cadre. They are like, if I have gotten 1 more mark, I will be in the heartland. I would have maybe gotten my home cadre itself. So everyone has this grievance that I have not pushed myself harder, I have not studied harder for mains particularly. So that is what is the importance of mains. It can like make or break your future. It is something like that. Yeah. So for mains particularly, rather than the knowledge part of things, the most important part is the execution part for mains particularly, because everyone will read, but writing an answer is very difficult. For me, since I was an MBBS, I was able to write answers very well when I began my prep, because we used to write a lot of things in our examination. But then you guys are mostly, I think, arts and science graduates. So for you it will be, I'm not sure how it is, but I generally heard that it is a bit difficult to start answer writing because you're much more into academic oriented stuff where you go in depth into everything. But here it is not like that. You should not be going in depth into the question, but being just give a brief overview of the entire thing, right? That too within what? In 2 pages. So there is something called brevity. What is brevity? Brevity, do you know the meaning of brevity? Brevity means like how to put out information in as small words as possible or as little words as possible, right? So that you have to practice how to be how should I inculcate brevity and all these things, right? Generally we write verbosely, which means like we use a lot of words to explain something, but then we should be able to explain it in as simple language as possible. So that is called brevity, and the examiner will also like that. So that is what I was majorly practicing in it. And again, in mains also, what comes into play? Your PYQs come into play, where you take the PYQs and then start answer writing based on them, right? So this is the basic about the execution part in mains. Then coming to the knowledge aspect, there is like all the basic books that you read for prelims, the same books will repeat here, right? Apart from this, there will be certain other topics. Like for example, GS1 has society, GS2 has governance, social justice, and IR. Then GS3 has disaster management, internal security, then agriculture, then yeah. So these three things are there. So then GS4 is entirely a main subject, right? So apart from this, 1, 2, 3 has all your eco, polity, history, all those things. Now for these new things, what sources should I follow? You can follow anything that is there in the market. Just stick to one single source, right? Because everyone is now, what are they doing is there is just multiplicity of content that is there. So like the same content will be given wrapped up in a different manner and be given and marketed as a different package by some other institute. So that is what is happening. So you just pick any institute that is there, anything that is there, and then just stick to their content. That is more than enough, right? Apart from this, I also saw a book that BANO IAS had, which is called as The Talisman of Answer Writing, which was like very innovative thing in my opinion, because generally what books are there in the market are the content based books. Read this for internal security, but how to write an answer in internal security, that I think that book was good. How to write an intro, how to write a conclusion. The examiner in mains, will he know who you are? He won't even know your name. So will he be knowing that he has studied this much or he has not studied? No, it is a very transparent, impartial process that is happening over there. So they will not even know who has written the paper. So his entire opinion on you will be framed from what? From the words that you write on the 2 pages, or the words that you have not written also, because some people leave questions. So when you leave a question, what impression will it create on the examiner? That this person is not that good in mains, right? So you might have had n number of reasons to leave a question. You might have been stressed out from another question. You might have not had time. You might not know the question that you left, but the examiner will generally assume what? That he doesn't know this, so he has left it. So it will generally reduce the marks only. So our entire aim of a main should be to portray ourselves in the best way that we can on paper. That is all. That is all about it. Whether you have studied, whether you have not studied, it doesn't matter to the examiner. Bas likho paper mein. That is why answer writing is very important. Even when you have not studied, start writing the answers, right? You would have a basic understanding of what this subject is. You should be starting the answer writing immediately, right? So answer writing and content building should go hand in hand. It should not be like I will prepare my content very well so that no one else has this much of best content in the world and then I'll start answer writing. No, that should not be the thing. You should focus on both of it and it should both go hand in hand. Okay, fine. So this is for mains. Anything that you guys want to ask in mains? Mostly your beginners. Yeah. Okay, essay. So for before essay, I forgot about CSAT and prelims. So let me say that as well. So CSAT and prelims basically has three major components. One is your reading comprehension. One is your mathematical part, which is reasoning. Which is the quant part. Then you have the logical reasoning part. So there are three parts. So I was generally giving before 26 prelims, I was giving out this advice that first discover what part you guys are strong at. So mostly, I don't think anyone strong in quant or max. Mostly you guys won't be strong in max. So yeah, it was the same for me also. It was not one of my strengths. So I was very strong in reading comprehension part and the logical reasoning part, right? So I had the strategy that I will be, focusing only on reading comprehension and logical reasoning. So generally, what do we say? I'm weak in maths, so I should practice what? Maths. But then what I did, I practiced reading comprehension and logical reasoning to increase the accuracy over there so that I can clear the exam cutoff just with these two. And then I was able to do it as well. In all my 3 prelims attempts, I was able to clear CSAT comfortably. And then it increased even. Like I got 78, then around 86, 87. Then I jumped to 112 in my 3 attempts in CSAT. So that worked for me. But then looking at the 26 paper, where they reduce the number of reading comprehension questions, which in my opinion should not have been done, because all 3 components are very important for a civil servant. What is CSAT's full form? Civil Services Aptitude Test, which means that it tests your aptitude as a civil servant, right? So, why is reading comprehension important for a civil servant? Huh? What is reading comprehension? Huh. So, before that, what is reading comprehension? What do you do in reading comprehension? Whatever we are reading. Yeah. So, so that is what reading comprehension is, and how reading comprehension is useful is what he said. It is like majorly being an IAS or being a bureaucrat is what is about pushing files only, right? But your major role won't be like you won't be don't think of it like a superhero kind of a thing where every day you will be out on the field doing this that. Yeah, that is a part of the job, but major part happens. The bureaucracy machinery setup is such that you push the files and then only the job gets done, right? That is also a very important part. There will be some files that are on your desk for past 1 year or 1.5 years, which waiting for your sign. If you don't sign it, that project won't be implemented. You're who? You're the part of which part of the government you are? You're the executive, which means what? You will execute things. You will be the ones doing it on the ground, right? So without your sign, it won't be implemented. Funds won't be allocated. So it is totally up to you, and that is why you have to be pushing files. And it will be 100-page thick file, and you have to cover it in what, half an hour or maybe 1 hour. How will you do it? By having reading comprehension, so that you can glance through a page and easily understand the gist of it, right? So that is why I say that that is why they've included RC in civil services aptitude test, right? So that is why I found it bad that they reduced the reading comprehension questions in CSAT. So from now, I will advise you guys to like strengthen your strengths and reduce your weakness. So if your weakness is maths, then you should be focusing 50% of your time of CSAT in maths. But at the same time, the other 50% should be for what? To strengthen reading comprehension and logical reasoning, which is your strength. Now, how to discover what is my strength, what is my weakness? So take out 3 to 4 past 4 years CSAT papers, 26, 25, 24, 23. Sit for 4 days and then solve them. Solve them in the exam scenario. 2 hours with a stopwatch, with a black ball point pen, with OMR sheet to shade it. Once the 2 hours is up, stop it, then check your answers. See if you're able to clear all the 4 CSAT papers. If you are able to clear, fine. If you're not able to clear, then also it's fine. So you would have gotten a mark, right? Let's say you have gotten 56 marks and you have failed. But still, to get those 56 marks, you would have done some questions correctly. So see which of the questions you have done correct. Is it logical reasoning, maths, or RC? So whatever majority questions you have done correct, it is your strength. And which questions you are not able to do, that is your weakness. That is all. This is how you identify what is your strength and weakness in CSAT. So do this practice, and then accordingly you decide how I should be attending the classes, which class should I focus on, maths or logical reasoning, and so on, right? So this is a basic strategy for CSAT. Now he was asking, coming back to mains, he was asking about essay. So essay again is what? It is about putting your thoughts in paper in a organized, well-maintained flow, right? So I generally didn't focus on the content part, but I majorly focus on how well I write or the flow in which that I write. How many of your medium is English for writing the exam? Everyone, right? Or is there anyone writing in other language, Hindi or something? Hindi medium, no one is there, right? So everyone are going to be writing it in English. So which means that you should be strong in what? English. So you cannot complain saying I'm not strong in English. I don't know. It's a foreign language. How should I be? How do you expect me to be strong in a foreign language? Then okay, go write it in vernacular language. Then you should not complain that no, Hindi also is a bit weak. So either take the call that if you are going to be writing in English, then you should be strong in English, obviously. So writing in English should be a basic part of it. Now, immediately writing a 10-page essay is very difficult. So as beginners, what you guys can do is maintain a journal for yourself. What is a journal? Journal is what? Journal is a sort of a diary kind of a thing, right? Which you maintain for yourself. And then in that, at the end of the day, you write about stuff that you feel like writing. Whatever happened that day. Like you can write about today where you came here, you were sitting in class, what happened during the class. Or you can write about anything interesting that happened during the class. Or you can write about anything or anyone that like you've seen someone and you're impressed by someone, then you can write about them. Or you have seen some phenomena that is happening that is very interesting. Or Abhi football is going, so you have seen a match and something historic has happened, you can write about it. Basically, what all you think, you should be putting it out in what language? In the language that you are going to write in the exam and onto the paper. This practice is so that you are able to communicate your thoughts to someone, right? So, like, how am I now communicating my thoughts to you? By talking. So, you have to, there in essay, you have to communicate your thoughts in written format. So, practice writing. So, for that, immediately starting 10-page essay is difficult. So, start with a journal, maintain a daily journal, and then go on. Then, again, how specifically to start essays is take the PYQ themes. So, there are certain themes in which they ask the PYQs. So take them out, and based on those themes, you make notes out of it. So what is a good example that I can quote from a book? That can I quote from a movie here? Any good example of a quote that is given by a great leader about this theme? Then I'll note it down. So start making notes on that aspect, and then start writing your essay simultaneously. And to get that writing practice, that is why I asked you to start with the journal writing, right? So you can start that. So this is for essay. Anything else that you want to ask for mains? So for self-evaluation, the first aspect that you should see is if you have answered to the demand of the question. So every question has a demand. They'll be teaching it to you here. So there are two things. There is the implicit demand and the explicit demand of a question. So that all will be very technical stuff for you right now, but I won't go in depth into it. The major thing is that you should answer to the demand of the question. Let's say I'm asking you, what is your name? What will you say? Your name is Amir. So that is what he is answering to my demand. Now let's say I'm asking him, what is your name? And then he is saying that I've come to BANO IAS, which means what? He has come to BANO IAS is true or false? It is a truth. But is it answering the demand of my question? No. And this is what people do in mains. They ask something, but they write whatever they know and then come. Right. And they feel that they should be given marks because what I've written is correct. It is factually accurate. But then they are not answer the demand of the question. So that is what matters. Right. So answering to the demand should be the first parameter that you evaluate yourself in. Second, see if you have written sufficient number of points there. Minimum of 10 points per question should be there. With or without examples, 10 points should be there. So then a few points of those 10 points can be substantiated with good examples, right? So these two angles are enough for you to start evaluating your answers right now. Anything else with mains? So you can look at topper copies, see how they are approaching the questions. So that will like influence you to think in a certain direction as they are also doing. So you can look at topper copies if you want. If you don't know, how should I start to write, right? That is the thing. So that can be done. Which one? Ethics, huh? So ethics paper, what generally people do is they write it like the other GS papers, right? So that happens because GS is thoda sa different from ethics. Ethics may you write a personal stuff over there. Ethics may they want to check whether you are an ethical person or not. So if you write bookish answers over there, it will get a bit bad. So that is why reading sources for ethics is not a good thing. So have one source ready, read it, but then practice more on answer writing and practice more on how you think. So ethics questions are such that even if you are not into UPSC preparation, even they can answer those questions. You take an ethics question, tomorrow go to your friends in college and then show them that question. Even they will be able to answer that question because ethics is something which anyone can answer, right? So you can start answer writing of ethics yourself. And then based on the PYQs, take out PYQs and start answer writing. Then the major components in an ethic answer should be the ethical keywords that you are using: compassion, tolerance, impartiality, objectivity, all these keywords. Then a bit of philosopher should be sprinkled here and there, like Kant. Then you have Bentham, Mill, Rawls. So just sprinkle them here and there. So that is enough to have a good ethics paper. But ultimately, the points that you generate should be good, should be relatable, should be practical. So a question can be, how will you have a healthy workspace or a healthy work culture? You guys tell me, like, how should you, like, let's say you're a officer now, how will you incorporate a healthy workspace? Like, you're the boss, you want the office to be a healthy working space without competition and all those things. So what all methods will you be using? Having diversity at the workplace. Number two. Huh? Being unbiased in the staff, with the staff. Huh? Positive competition. So this can be said as what? A healthy competition, not a positive competition. Bringing up a healthy competitive environment with positive reinforcements. Anything else? Sorry? Transparent promotional mechanism. Rewarding the employee will be positive reinforcement. So you guys yourself know the points. Now putting all this onto paper is what ethics is. So I will be bringing up a positive environment by bringing in positive reinforcement. Then I'll be unbiased towards my employees so that there is no discrimination between them. Then I'll be also promoting what? Healthy competition between them so that they improve as a group. Then I'll be transparent in my promotional choices so that it again doesn't create bias. So these are the points that you'll be writing in ethics. So start brainstorming your PYQs of ethics. That itself is enough for you to get through. And just have one source maybe. Bas. That is all. Yeah. Sorry? Topper copies may see how they have thought of it. Don't look at it as a mid source of material where you can get points from, but see how they have thought of the point. So how they have answered the demand. All these things should be seen. Okay. Okay. So I'll now start with your personality test. So do you guys think that you should focus on the interview stage from now on? Do you guys know that there is an interview stage? Yeah. So do you think that you should be focusing on it from now on? Yes or no? Who's saying no? Did anyone say no? No to not saying no. Okay. So yes, everyone is saying yes, right? Okay. So generally, we feel that it should not be done, like from the beginning itself. And I was also of that opinion only, where I was thinking, why should we study for the personality test? But then once mains got over, I got to know from a lot of my friends who were also giving interview with me that they were not having hobbies to write in their tab. Then one of my friends, he wrote learning new languages as his hobby. Then I asked him what languages you know. Then he told Hindi, Urdu, English, bus. That is all. So but then that doesn't mean that you can put that you can learn or you are interested in learning new languages. Just three language doesn't count as learning new languages, right? So then I told him, bro, but how have you filled it? What will you do? Then he started learning French. When the interview was about to come 1-2 months later, he started learning French. But then but it backfired for him. So many people don't even have hobbies, but I had my hobby. So I was a musician. I used to play the keyboard. So I had a very good hobby. So I was not much bothered about the interview prep, and I also got good marks in interview. After mains only I prepared. But then a lot of you won't be like that. Some of you won't be having a hobby. Some of you like I don't know about you guys. Like, you will be better knowing about yourself, but some might be there who are not having a hobby, right? So start building up a hobby from now onwards so that you when the time comes you don't search for a hobby, right? So have a hobby for yourself. It can be anything. Film reviewing. It should be an active hobby, not a passive hobby. Passive hobby is like watching football, watching cricket. Active hobby is I'm a bowler, fast bowler in cricket. I'm a I'm a off spinner in cricket. Or football mein I'm a defender. That is an active hobby. So try to have active hobbies, or if you don't have one, try to think of the stuff that you did in college. So I was in my college, I was a culsec. So then there we used to conduct events and all those things. So my dad was good in that sense. Like, I had put that I was the cultural secretary in my leadership skills. Then I was part of the NSS as well. Is there anyone part of the NSS here? No. Okay. Then I was part of NCC as well during school. So all those things I had put it out over there. So you would have done something in your own capacity in college. So think what that was. think what, maybe it must be that I was part of some mission, Swachh Bharat mission or something I would have been a part of. So think about it, maybe that is your passion. So then make it your hobby. So make that your hobby, and then a hobby can be as simple as, teaching underprivileged kids. So it can be as simple as that, or it can be anything. It can be trying out new dishes from around the world, from new cuisines. So that is something that can be taken up as a hobby if cooking is what you like. So start making a hobby for yourself from today, from today onwards. So that is it. So apart from that, what medium can you give the interview in? You can give it in English as well as linguist as well as Hindi as well. You would have all seen the movie 12th Fail, right? In that mostly it is what, in Hindi only. So you can give it in Hindi, write mains in English and give interview in Hindi. That also works. So you can do that as well. So whatever language you have chosen, you have to be proficient in that language, right? So let's say you have given Hindi as your medium, then you should be proficient in Hindi, well enough to speak. If you have given English, then you should be proficient in what? In English, right? So let's say you're not proficient in English or Hindi. What is the basic thing that you should do? You should start discussing with your friends, either in English or Hindi. Luckily, my English improved in Delhi because why? Because I don't know Hindi, so I have to communicate in English here. But then I obviously learned a bit of Hindi to communicate. But then I had to talk in English to everyone in RCA and everywhere. So that improved my English. Then I was able to do well, and my English was good previously, but I was able to even refine it a bit more. The vocabulary that you use is what makes your language much more pleasant to hear. So work on these aspects. Like these are all stuff that you might think, are they relevant now? They are, because ultimately, because of you not speaking well, you might be cut down by 30, 40 marks. Then that will put you out of the list. Then you have to sit again for 3. So that might happen. So be prepared for everything is what I would say. So this is regarding the personality test. Apart from that, have a good personality, because it is called not an interview. It is what? It is a personality test. So have a good personality. So how will you have a good personality? What do you think is a good personality? Or what do you think is a bad personality? Or something which is bad? I should not be like this. Okay, so what are they? What post are you guys aspiring for? Huh? Civil servant. So like only he is aspiring, is it? So you guys are all aspiring to be what? Just say it out loud. Now, why are you like very embarrassed to say it? Civil servants, right? So you would have in mind of an image of someone who is already a civil servant, right? So is there anyone that you know, any IAS officer that you know or you have seen? Oh, not me, obviously. I am not an officer. Like abhi tak, I have not yet gotten my joining letter and all. Anyone else that you know? Huh. How many of you have seen Junaid Ahmed, sir? Not in person, but generally seen him speak in videos and all this. Does his personality show that he is an IAS officer? When did he make that personality? Was it post the results? Was it post his selection that he got into that mode of an IAS officer? Or let's say now I'm standing here speaking in front of you guys. So did I get this confidence post my selection? So during the prep phase itself, you have to become a IAS officer. And that is what they check in the personality test. They see whether you are already an officer and then they select you, right? They don't select you and then make you a civil servant. They see whether you are already a civil servant. You have that attitude. You have the personality of a civil servant. So start building up that personality. Do you think an IAS officer will read the newspaper daily? Will he do it? Abhi that I've become an IAS officer, there is no point of me reading the newspaper, right? I mean, I've cleared the exam, so I need not be, like reading the current affairs. But still, I should be doing as a IAS officer. So make it a habit to read the newspapers. So now, do you think an IAS officer should be, like compassionate towards someone who's on the road as a homeless person, right? So he should be. Don't expect it out of yourself, but think of an IAS officer. Will you be expecting him to do it? Or will you be expecting him to be very, like angry or, just shooing them away or something? He'll be compassionate, right? So try to bring those qualities into yourself actively. That is how you build up a good personality for yourself, the good confidence. Try to be confident in your approach, because you will want an IAS officer to be. Do you want an officer who's scared to speak in public, or who is very well spoken, who's giving press interviews and all those things? Who's well spoken and who's giving press interviews, right? Because what you're saying will be broadcasted to what? Millions of people. So there was this incident in Tamil Nadu, where there were 2-3 IPS officers who were, like caught laughing or smiling. Have you seen this? Yeah. During what? What were they talking about? During the press conference, it was about some women. It was some abuse related an issue. So they have come to give a press conference about a sensitive issue, and before that they were seen to be laughing and smiling, right? Do you think that is a good attitude that should be shown by a civil servant? No, right? So that is all. So you yourself are better judges of what is the good attitude that a civil servant should have, and what is a good attitude that he should, what is a bad attitude that he should not have. So if you are able to judge it out of others, then start judging yourself whether I will, well, like let's say where this should kick in, like when you've drunk something, like the bottle, and then you're just trying to crush it and then throw it down on the road. So before throwing it down, it should prick you. As a civil servant, does this look good on me? Will this image be a good image of me? Then okay, no, then I'll just put it in the dustbin. So these things should be there. And even this doesn't just come in your actions, even in the views that you take, right? Let's say there is something of the other in the news that is going on, right? So think of the news perspective from a civil servant's angle, from the government's angle. Don't think of it from the public angle. Have a public perspective as well, but also have a civil servant angle or a government angle to it, right? So the public will be angry at the government for a lot of things, that they're not doing this, they're not doing that. That is the perspective of who? Of a public, and that is the role of the public as well. They have to criticize the government, right? Then only the government will be what is the word? Accountable. So the government then only will be accountable to the public. But as a civil servant, we should be what? We should not be criticizing the government too much. Obviously, we should be having that opinion as a individual person as well. But as a civil servant, we should also be looking at what could have been the reason that they have actually brought in this policy. So, which is basically what? Look at both sides of the issue. See why this policy is needed, why the government is bringing it. Then also see why the public are criticizing it. So you should be seeing both the angles. If you are too much into this side also, it is bad, and if you're too much onto that side is also bad. This is taking the central stand, and this is what they see in a personality test as well. Like the first question that they asked me in the interview was that it was chaired by the honorable chairman, like Shilvardhan sir. He's he's a retired IPS officer. He is someone who is like very known for for having a wide range of talents. Like if you have put watching anime as your hobby, he will be asking you questions on some anime. He will also be having that anime thing. Let's say you have put Hindi poetry, we should call it a shairi, right? So if you have put shairi reciting or shairi writing as your hobby, then he himself will quote some shairi, Urdu poetry, he will quote and then ask you who is the author of it. So he's someone who is very talented in all those aspects. So he was he was the board chairman for me as well. So the first question he asked was, is this your first time in Delhi? Then I told, no sir, I'm staying here for 2 years. Then the next question was something which I am not prepared for. He immediately asked, what is the difference between the society of Chennai, which I am from, and the society of Delhi, right? So, how many of you here are from Delhi? So you guys are from Delhi. Most of you are from outside. You are from UP mostly and Bihar, right? So will you be saying UP, Bihar, your hometown is better or Delhi is better? No. Huh? No, but no. Don't give me a politically correct answer. Be very brutally honest. I will say Chennai is best because I am from Chennai. I was born and brought up there. And then looking at the pollution and the crowd here, obviously Jamia is the only good place that is there, the university campus. Apart from that, nowhere else is that as peaceful as it is there. So for me personally, I won't be saying that I prefer Delhi over Chennai, right? So what do you guys will say? Will you think you will be choosing your hometown or Delhi? Huh? No, be honest about it. Hometown or Delhi? Hometown, right? And then Delhi people, obviously, you guys will be choosing Delhi, I think, because you are born and brought up here. And Delhi also has a very vibrant culture of its own. So if you are born into this culture, you will obviously be supporting it, right? But even as outsiders, even though we prefer our own hometowns, there are some good aspects about Delhi that we love, right? So the first thing that I loved about Delhi is that people here are much more receiving to strangers and much more friendlier. So this is my opinion. So when I told them, they also were a bit shocked. I told them that people in Delhi are much more friendlier. Then they were like, how do you? They were very shocked. They were like, how do you think people in Delhi are very friendly? Then I told them, compared to my hometown in Chennai, but people are a bit more reserved. They are very formal in their interactions. But here it is very informal. So when I try to speak Hindi, thoda thoda, I'll speak in that broken Hindi. Then they don't discourage me or laugh at me in a very demeaning way. Instead, they'll encourage me, they'll smile at me, they will encourage that, okay, someone from South is coming and speaking in Hindi. So this made me feel at home in Delhi. So this was the friendliness that they showed me. So I was saying the good aspects of it. I was not saying that, sir, in Chennai there is not much traffic. Here there is too much traffic. And Chennai, may I can get the sea breeze anytime that I want. Here it is continentality affected. You must have read all these things. So here continentality is there. So even during summers, I'm not able to get good breeze, sir. I have to put the desert cooler. There in Chennai, it's fine. So I was not saying all this. These are all also true, but you should not be projecting the negative aspect to someone. And there are people who are living in Delhi. How will they feel? It's like I'm demeaning the place that they are living in, right? So that should not be the thing. So bring a positive or a fresh perspective to the things that you speak to people as well. So this is what I said to him. So and then it was good. Then from my name, from Raja, then he went to Raja Chola. Then he was asking about Tanjore, big temple, and then the interview just went on. It was more of a conversation between me and him. So and the other other members as well. So the interview should go like this. So be ready to have a good conversation with them. So that is what. So this is about the 3 stages of the examination. So apart from this, as you guys are all mostly beginners, what should I do to are there any engineers? No, right? Like most of you guys are students here or Jamia mein or no? So what have you guys all studied? Like graduation or sorry? Where? Lucknow, okay. From Aligarh, is there someone? No. Jamia University, mein, there's no one. Who all are there from Jamia? Okay. You guys are doing PG, UG. Okay. PG from Jamia. Okay. So most of you are arts and science students, right? Like all of you are arts and science student. Any like medical field people like physiotherapy, dentist, no. Arts and science. So fine. So first thing, like obviously this journey will be what? Will it be a very short journey or a very long journey? It's a long journey. Even let's say you're clearing in your first attempt, it will take 2 years to clear it in your first attempt, which itself is a long journey. 2 years is a long journey, right? So 2 years, including the exam year, I'm saying. So 2 years. So how should I sustain myself throughout these 2 years? Because again, it is a very unpredictable thing. Let's say I reach till interview stage and then I fail. I have to give the exam again, right? So it is very unpredictable. So how will I motivate myself or keep me motivated throughout the process, the long process that I'm going to undertake? So this is like graduation, post graduation or post undergraduation. So it's like something like that. UPSC is not an exam. It's a kind of a graduation where it almost takes 2 years for some people. For me, it took 4 years. For some, it will take 3 years. So it depends on which attempt you're giving and all those things. So it's a kind of a graduation for you, right? So how to sustain this thing? How to sustain this long process? So the first thing is obviously the motivation that you have to become a civil servant, right? So what motivates you guys to become civil servants? It can be anything. Huh? Please tell me. Don't say that you don't have a motivation. It should be something. So you have a role model in civil services, so you want to be like him. So that is one thing. Anything else? It is a prestigious post for many people, right? So that also should be a motivation. What are the motivations you guys have? To work on the communal tensions. Okay, fine. Anything else? No one has motivation for the resources that you get, the perks that you get. That is not a motivation, is it? That also is a motivation, right? So that also is a motivation. So, but each of you should be having one particular thing. Try to find out what that is. If you don't have any motivation to become, like to get into the services, then don't give the examination. That is, it is as simple as that. it can be any reason. You can be just thinking of it as a government job. I have to get a government job. Then also at least try to have the clarity that, okay, this is my aim. I have to get a job. So that is why I'm doing civil services. So have an aim like that. Don't be like, my friend has come, so I have come, or my parents have told I have done it. Because ultimately it will be a loss for everyone that is involved here. So that is the thing, and it is a loss of a lot of years also wasted. So be clear on what the motivation is, what the motivation aspect for you is, because that will be the driving factor for you throughout the 2 years or 3 years that you study. Right. So keep that in mind. You need not be saying it out loud, but keep it at least in your mind that, okay, this is my aim, and then I will do it. Don't be aimless. That is the most basic thing that I will say. Right. Fine. So with this, I think we can conclude the session. Apart from that, I don't think there is much more for you guys that I have to advise or something. Just come to the classes, attend whatever work you're doing, do justice to that work. That alone is enough. And once your classes are done, revise them as much as you can. So this will be the basic stuff that I would say at the end, right? So anything else that you guys want to ask? Optional strategy for anthro, specifically for anthro, would be to focus on the static portions more, like physical anthropology and Indian anthropology, tribal anthropology, rather than socio-cultural. So that would be my strategy. And then like majorly focus on again on writing the PYQs. Anthro is all about completing the PYQs. If you complete all the PYQs of anthropology, you're good to go. You'll get 275 plus score. So there is nothing much that you have to do. Focus on answer writing part. Answer write the PYQs. That is all. Fine. So you can put a test series and then write it and get it evaluated. Or you can take any question from the market. Use ChatGPT to frame questions, write it and get it evaluated from some mentor or anyone. You can do anything. So like there is no limit to resources. So you can do anything yourself, right? Anything else that you guys want to ask? Fine, no? So all the best for your examinations. Do well. I'll see. Thank you. Thank you for being patient.
अगर आप दिल्ली जैसे शहर में बजट में आईएएस की तैयारी करना चाहते हैं तो इस वीडियो को एंड तक जरूर देखें। ये है बनो आईएएस। इसको रन करने वाले हैं यूपीएससी क्वालिफाइड एक्स सिविल सर्वेंट एंड जामिया आरसीए एलुमनाई। यहाँ की फैकल्टी को ना केवल यूपीएससी एग्जाम का एक्सपीरियंस है बल्कि पढ़ाने का भी सालों का एक्सपीरियंस है। ये एक्सपर्ट फैकल्टी हर टॉपिक को अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करते हैं, उसके बाद हर टॉपिक को डिक्टेट करते हैं ताकि आपके पास अपने खुद के हैंड रिटन नोट्स हो। साथ ही क्लास में प्रीलिम्स और मेंस के प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व किया जाता है और डिस्कस भी किया जाता है।
यहाँ पे आपको सिविल सर्वेंट्स जैसे कि आईएएस, आईआरएस और एक्स सिविल सर्वेंट्स साथ के साथ जामिया आरसीए के एलुमनाइज आपको पर्सनल मेंटरशिप देते हैं। डेली आंसर राइटिंग जो कि सारे टॉपर्स रिकमेंड करते हैं, इस पर यहाँ पे बहुत फोकस किया जाता है जो कि बाकी कोचिंग्स में नहीं होता है। इसके साथ ही आपको मिलती है प्रीलिम्स और मेंस की टेस्ट सीरीज जो आपको एग्जाम के लिए रेडी करती है। यहाँ के अगर हाईलाइट्स की बात करें तो स्मॉल बैच साइजेस जिसमें 60 स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं और जीएस कोर्स के साथ आपको एसे और सीसैट की क्लासेस भी होती है जिसके लिए आपको अलग से पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
और ये लोकेटेड है सुखदेव विहार मेट्रो स्टेशन के बिल्कुल सामने। तो देर किस बात की, आज ही स्टार्ट करें और अपने यूपीएससी के सपने को साकार करें। थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग बनो आईएएस।